So Jerry Jones may be up to something. He has alluded to potentially working on quote unquote two pretty substantive trades. Now, the 2025 draft concluded, and the Dallas Cowboys did not take a single wide receiver with all their picks. So I feel like that's pretty noteworthy. Now, according to a couple reports, George Pickens is loosely connected to potentially going to the Cowboys. George Pickens has been in trade talks over the last couple of months since the Steelers acquired DK Metcalf, and I really think that's in their best interest to trade George Pickens. You know, if the Steelers had an all-time QB right now, or even a competent QB right now, to make both of those wide receivers happy on a consistent basis, then sure, keep them. But to have two kind of temper tantrum, talented wide receivers on the same team in the same locker room, I just don't think that's a good recipe for success. But that's just my take. If you disagree with me, let me know why you think the Steelers should keep both DK and George Pickens. And that's the thing too, man. If they trade George Pickens, besides his personality and what he does on the field with how he kind of acts out and stuff, he's a really, really talented wide receiver. And I just think he has a lot of potential to maybe be a top 10 wide receiver in this league one day. And if the Dallas Cowboys can acquire George Pickens and pair him with CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott, man, that's probably one of the best wide receiver duos in the NFL right now. That would be a deadly, deadly combo. I'm sure him acting out and him still being a hothead probably wouldn't change. And I'm not really sure if that would be like the best idea from that perspective, because it's the Cowboys. The Cowboys get a ton of attention. So every quote he has to say, every post-game interview where he says something raunchy, you know, it's going to be in the headlines. So from that perspective, I don't really like it. But on the field, as a playmaker with CD, with Dak, I love it. So if you're a Cowboys fan, let me know, do you want George on the Cowboys? I think it's a no-brainer. We'll have to see if it does get done. Now, if I had to guess, I feel like a second-round pick is pretty fair for George Pickens, or maybe a third and fourth. And yeah, man, as far as the Cowboys wide receivers currently on the roster, behind CeeDee Lamb, it's only Jonathan Mingo and Jalen Tolbert, essentially. That's not really going to get it done. So I feel like if it's not George Pickens, they have to add somebody. You know, maybe an Amari Cooper reunion. I'm not sure, but expect them to make a move here. Also, Keenan Allen still available. I don't think he's going to go back to Chicago since the Bears drafted a wide receiver. I just don't see a reunion happening there. So Keenan Allen to the Dallas Cowboys, I feel like that would be a pretty good match. But you let me know what wide receiver you think the Dallas Cowboys are going to add. Let me know in the comments below. And another wide receiver to keep an eye on for the Cowboys is Courtland Sutton. I'm not saying he's on the trade block. I'm not saying anything, but he wants a new contract with the Denver Broncos. And in the past couple years, they have received plenty of offers from other teams for Courtland Sutton. So I'm sure there are some conversations right now with the Dallas Cowboys and the Denver Broncos. The Cowboys gave up a lot for Jonathan Mingo, so if it's an offer the Broncos can't refuse from Jerry Jones and company, you gotta do it. Like, what if Jerry offers Sean Payton a first for Courtland Sutton? I feel like you kind of have to take that, in my opinion. As good as he is, if the Cowboys want to overpay for a wide receiver, you know, it's business at the end of the day. I would definitely take that. So Courtland Sutton, George Pickens, two names that Jerry may have his eye on the trade block. Not sure just quite yet, but I'm sure we will find out in due time. And honestly, man, I just want to quickly touch on the draft. If the Cowboys didn't trade for Joe Milton, I feel like they would have taken Shador Sanders, and I kind of wish we lived in that universe instead because I feel like that'd be a lot more entertaining. I don't know, man. It was just such a buzzkill for that to be one of the most iconic draft slides in NFL history, and for him to just end up on the Browns. I don't know. It just felt like a giant waste of time and like super depressing for everyone involved. Like, if you're gonna fall that far, I was hoping he was gonna go to Minnesota or the Rams or just some like random team like Arizona or the Niners, perhaps. But to fall 5 rounds and to lose millions on millions to only end up on Cleveland with Gabriel, Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, Deshaun Watson is just so bizarre and sad. And I'm really hoping from now until the preseason, we don't hear a word from Shador Sanders. I know the media is going to be clamoring at him and trying to like poke him and whatnot and yada yada yada. But like, come on, bro. Like, we're talking about a 5th round pick. I really hope all the buzz and noise on Shador just quiets down to just completely silent until we see him in preseason action. But I know that won't happen, unfortunately. Just the nature of the business, unfortunately. But yeah, man, Shador in Dallas would have been a fun time because Dak Prescott is a very injury-prone player, and he would have got a shot with the Cowboys eventually. I still like the move of them acquiring Joe Milton. I'm really excited to see what Joe Milton has in store. We will see him as a QB1 in the regular season in the next 2 years because, like I just said, every other year Dak Prescott sustains a pretty serious injury. So, really excited for Joe. And as far as reality and Shador in Cleveland, man, I don't know. He's a 5th round pick. He's a backup QB. Maybe he'll get some playing time at the end of the 2025 season, perhaps, but I got Joe Flacco. I got Kenny Pickett way ahead of him. I expect Kenny Pickett to be the QB1 there. I expect Joe Flacco to be the QB2 there. As far as the QB3 role, maybe Dylan Gabriel, maybe Shador, I don't know, but I'm sure the preseason will be a fascinating time, so... But yeah, man, overall, I'm pretty happy that the draft process is over and done with. Just a lot of smoke screens, a lot of people just essentially just talking out of their behind, honestly, because at the end of the day, even the teams that are drafting these guys, they don't know if they're going to be ballers or not. Nobody truly knows. So I'm just glad we're finally out of the subjective part of this offseason and we could get back to objective stuff. But that's just me. And one last thing, I thought it was pretty funny. Even though the Browns drafted 2 quarterbacks in the 2025 draft, they are the betting favorites to draft Arch Manning in the 2026 draft. I just thought that was hilarious and just a good reminder that the Browns will always be the Browns. So, happy Monday. Hope you all are doing good. If you made this far, please subscribe and like the vid. It'd help out your boy a ton. That's all I got for right now. Peace.
Tries to get the feet down, but this will be ruled incomplete.
If you're defensive back in the NFL now, you got to be alert for the deep passes down the field because not only do you got to play it well, you got to make sure you don't have pass interference.
Mason's taken down at the 40. He's averaging about 3 yards a carry on the day. This will probably be the last play of the quarter. The Jets have the football as the 4th quarter gets started.
The line of scrimmage is at the 40.
The Buccaneers defense brings in an extra member of the secondary. They'll go nickel. Brandon Marshall has the grab. And he's going to be tackled, and that's going to bring us to 4th down.
Good job by the defense. They're well taught, well schooled by the defensive coordinator. They know in situations like this, if it's thrown short of the 1st down marker, they're good. They come up, make the tackle. Now we have 4th down.
The kick, it's through there. The kick is good. Phil, that
the Jets bring their offense onto the field. The last time they had control of the football, they did not come away empty-handed, but did not get a touchdown either.
Well, they got that field goal, and I think that's important. That field goal gave them a little confidence. They got some points up there that always makes you feel good on the offensive side. Now take advantage of that good feeling. Go out there and score a touchdown this time.
Let's see if they can finish off a drive. 2nd down and 2. Morris looking for a lane. Johnson's there to take him down.